Suddenly, a face of evil, long hidden, is with us again. A face from another day, long gone but never to be forgotten. Your day, Adolf Eichmann. This was your day for conquest, for strutting high, a day of outrage, of terror, of extermination, of a madman's master plan for a world without Jews. But was the day carried? Did your plan prevail? What happened while you were absent without leave? This will tell you, this memo to a murderer. This was your world, Adolf Eichmann. Remember? Torture chambers, ovens, smokestacks, death camps, Auschwitz. Here alone, 2 million Jews were murdered. Treblinka, Dachau, Bergen-Belsen, millions of human beings reduced to ashes. And Warsaw. Remember Warsaw? 500,000 Jews lived here once. Creators of a great culture, a peaceful people, but they would not submit to you. You put them to torture and the torch, killing them in cold blood. Another 500,000 Jews dead. The ghetto in ruins. Jewish life all but ended. 6 million dead. And those who survived were more dead than alive. Almost skeletons. A faint heartbeat short of extinction, haunted by your terror, exhausted, anguished. This was the world of Jews you left behind when you ran for your life. Your plan was succeeding. And yet, today, a short 15 years later, a man may stand on a mount above a port called Haifa, filled with wonder and pride at the new world of Jews he has seen. A world full of strong limbs, willing hands and happy faces. A world of bright cities, productive earth and vigorous industry. A world of hard work, of deep compassion, of enduring courage. But how could this happen, you ask? How could this vigor and vitality grow out of the death and decay you left behind? Well, here's how, Adolf Eichmann. Here's how. The feeble spark of life that survived your living hell was not allowed to peter out. The gaunt, shattered remnants of your inhumanity did not stand alone. A cry went up among the Jews of the free world. A cry born of sorrow, of anger, of determination to fan the spark of life into a flame. A cry proclaiming for all to hear that if the world cared less, we must care more. The Jews of America acted in swift, mighty accord to guarantee survival, to bring food, clothing, shelter, healing, and hope, to carry as many as possible from the DP camps to the United States, to other free lands, and to Palestine. People of Palestine, struggling to establish a Jewish homeland, opened their gates and their hearts to them and received all they could. While they waited, these survivors, waited through the displaced days and weeks and months. The forces of history were forging a homeland for their homecoming. A momentous decision in the United Nations partitioned Palestine and made Israel. Yes, Adolf, Israel. For on May 14th, 1948, after 2,000 years, after generations of murderers and oppressors like you, David Ben-Gurion arose at a historic assembly in Tel Aviv to proclaim the state of Israel. The waiting of the displaced was ended. The gates were opened. The homeless started coming home. Not even the savage attack by 7 Arab nations could stop this tide. For it was the greatest homecoming in human history. They came pouring into the new land, these people whose limbs and hearts you tried to stop forever. And they've kept on coming for 13 years, by land, by sea, by air, from everywhere. It was not an easy life to which they came. If you had seen them in those bare and bitter early years, you would have thought yourself still victorious. This was what passed for home in those days. The tents, too hot for summer, too cold for winter, always damp, and the huts of tin or wood or tar paper. Just a few short years ago, while you were safe in your hiding place, 250,000 Jews in Israel lived like this. It was not a rich land to which they came. If you had seen the land of Israel in those early days, you would have counted your master plan a success, for it was parched, dusty, dry, heartbreakingly stony, dust and rock, unyielding rock. But the people of Israel, supported by the Jews of America, had fought and won the great battle for the survival of your victims. Now they fought and began to win the great battle of immigrant absorption. Pioneers, young and not so young, went into the desert to make it yield. The line of water, of life, came into the dryness, section by section, inch by inch, drop by drop. Through the years, tended with love and dedication, sustained by sweat and sacrifice, the land of Israel has grown. Out of the dust, there's come a great flourishing. And out of the squalor, after 13 years of struggling, of planning, of tearing down the tents and pulling apart the huts, and of building, 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 there have arisen walls to house lives of peace and dignity. Yes, a man can stand on the dock at Haifa today, watching the latest newcomers arrive, and be confident that the new life to which they come will be full and good. They will be carried swiftly and surely from ship to settlement, and will find there a warm greeting and a clean new home. And their hands will be put to use. They will be free and sure and joyous. Regard them, Adolf Eichmann, a generation without fear. These youngsters of Israel whom you would have killed in the womb See them gathered today in their villages to fashion their futures. They're bright and joyful, celebrating the triumph of the homeland, of its energy, its industry, its inventiveness, of its thrust for knowledge and its search for truth, of its open mind and eager heart, of its compassion for the young and for the aged and infirm. These are today's Jews living in today's Jewish homeland. A far cry, Eichmann, from yesterday's skeletons and corpses, piles of ashes and the pools of blood. Yours was the way of anguish. Ours is the way of exaltation. Yours the way of separation. Ours of reunion. Yours the charnel house. Ours the laboratory. Yours the crematorium. Ours the nursery. Yours the barbed wire. Ours the open fields. Murder was your way and torture. Healing is ours and renewal. Your way has lost, Adolf Eichmann. Your day is done. Our way is prevailing. And our day has just begun. For in the words of Isaiah, they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. And sorrow and sighing shall flee away. With these prophetic words, we, the Jews of America, end our memo to Eichmann. But we must make sure that the prophecy is fulfilled. Progress in Israel has been thrilling, that's clear. But serious problems still remain. Yes, the face of the land is bright and strong, and we can be proud of what we've done through the UJA to help. But we cannot and dare not become complacent. For beneath the brightness in Israel today, there's still great human need. Farm villages must still be completed. Mabarot must still be torn down. Thousands of young and old people need special aid. And above all, new immigrants keep arriving every day. They must be transported and housed and cared for. And let's never forget another thing. So long as Jews in other lands remain in need and peril, there will still be sorrow and sighing in our household of Israel. More than 500,000 people in these other lands, in Europe, in Muslim countries, need our help. They must all obtain joy and gladness, as the prophet said. They must all share in the victory over Adolf Eichmann, the victory of life over death.